Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's event, Taking on Takeaway, Keeping It Simple, a Practical Masterclass. This is a Chef Network event in partnership with Ballymaloe Foods. Today's event will begin shortly. The session, which will last approximately 1 hour, and all attendees will be automatically muted throughout the session. We will have time for questions at the end of the session, so if at any time during the event you would like to submit a question, this can be done via the questions function in the toolbar. We will then address as many questions as possible during the Q&A session. I am now delighted to pass you over to our chefs this morning, Chad Byrne, owner and operator of the Hungry Donkey, and Tracie Daly, Ballymaloe Development Chef.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Louise. Lovely to be here. And Chad, you're coming through from the Hungry Donkey.
We are.
Fabulous.
Our small kitchen. This is it.
Small but beautiful. Chad, quick introduction for both of us. I'll hit the ground running quickly. So I'm a development chef with Ballymaloe Foods. I also do other things on the side. I'm a food business coach as well as that. But with Ballymaloe Foods, I get to work alongside such a wonderful family-run Irish organisation, and I get to highlight their amazing products in many different dishes. So I get to be super creative, and throughout COVID, being super creative in my own kitchen has been quite a treat. So from there, I get to work with lots of different organisations up and down the country. I work closely with Donica, amazing Donica, and we get in and out of businesses and we help people with their menus and how best to utilise those delicious products. From there, then I'm going to hand over to you, Chad, in the Hungry Donkey. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, well, my name is Chad Byrne. I'm head chef in the Breton Hotel Killarney, which is a luxury hotel. 120 bedrooms. I have a wealth of experience in the industry, both from pop-ups and events. This is my second venture in takeaway form. I had a venture called A Real Burger before, and this is my second venture now called A Hungry Donkey. And it happened due to COVID, because I'm sure most people that are watching this probably have to adapt or pivot their jobs and their expertise, and they're working on. For me, it was a pivot to the Hungry Donkey. We're open 2 weeks now, and things have been absolutely flying. Always when you're open, especially with a mobile catering unit, everything seems to be a lot more delayed because there's such an influx of people getting them that the lead time was possibly 6 or 7 weeks, went over to 9, 10 weeks, and I'm sure people are feeling that now a little bit as well, especially with hotels opening back up. They might wanted to get out before the Maybank holiday weekend, and they can see a little bit of a delay happening, which I think a lot of companies that are refurbishing horse boxes, or it mightn't be a horse box, could be a trailer, are struggling to keep up with the demand.
Yeah, massively huge issue right now, Chad, and really well highlighted. The lead-in time has extended. If it hasn't doubled, it's tripled. And with everything that's been going on in the world, it is quite a frustration, isn't it, for a lot of people to get up and running. So what we're going to discuss today, Chad, and it is brilliant, it's taking on takeaway and how to keep it simple. And for both of us, we've had the good fortune to be able to talk behind the scenes and really understand the relevance of that point of keeping it simple. And for us today, we're going to introduce certain topics, especially how to set up a food business that's on wheels. So choosing either a container or a food truck, is it on wheels, is it not? And all the different elements around that and how you make your decisions. So tell us, Chad, how to set up a food truck. Let's go back to the first decision. Are you a sole trader? Are you a limited company? How do you even broach that with yourself? What are your decisions?
So for me, the company is small. Everything's paid for. I have zero, well, I have overheads, of course I have overheads. I pay rent to the garage. I had to have a prep kitchen because in my naivety, I thought I could get everything done in a horse box. So I went as sole trader. And the only reason why I'm going as sole trader is, you know, it's a huge decision, and it depends where you want to go. But this is a small company, and I like to manage the finances going in and going out a lot closer because it's a lot easier. It's not a big company. So I'm going specifically as sole trader. However, if the Hungry Donkey was to branch out into a franchise, if it was to do meal kits, if it was to go down a different avenue, I definitely think about going limited company. But I think if anybody does go limited company, remember that money coming in, it's not yours. It's the company's money. You just take a wage. So it's a little bit different. There's just a bit more flexibility, I find, with being a sole trader. But then the tax is more. So there's a balancing act, and it really depends on what you want to do and where you see your business. Is it a business that's going to grow and you really want it to grow? Limited company. But start off, what I'd recommend, start off as a sole trader, because you can always wind up being a sole trader. Whereas if you start off as a limited company, and let's be honest, it's hospitality industries up, they go up and down. You don't know if you're going to be okay. It'll take about 6 months to wind up your company if you're a limited trader. So that's public as well. So it's handy to know.
Lots of decisions to be made. Even to set up as a sole trader, it's definitely simpler and quicker in many respects. You have to come under a certain bracket, isn't it? It's under 38,000 that you can earn within that before you have to consider going into a limited company status. A limited company status, it does give you other brilliant insights, and you have to make your tax returns every 2 months. You need to employ legals. So I think the first thing to do is to create the business plan. Chad, what do you think? So forecasting ahead, understanding what it is you want to achieve, give yourself that level of direction, deciding what style of business, that will also help dictate and swerve you in the direction of a sole trader or limited company. And the beauty is, from a sole trader, you can branch into a limited company, as you said.
Exactly.
So there's great flexibility in that decision, which is terrific. Yeah. There's lots of food for thought, isn't there? But your accountant and your solicitor, you want to employ both those expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. As a sole trader, you can do it online yourself, and it'll be free. Or you can go to the company bureau, and they can, if you're worried with tech issues and stuff like that, and doing stuff online, go to the company bureau. They'll set it up for you, and they'll also set up a limited company for you, which would be roughly 200, 250. And regardless of whatever you do, you're going to have to get an accountant before you start. Can't start a business without an accountant. Once you have your accountant, once you have your accountant, he'll box off the rest for you, and you're almost good to go. It's really that simple. Business shouldn't be. I find in my industry, in me personally, probably a few years ago, somebody says set up your own business. I'd wet the pants. I go, Jesus, what would I do? What do I do? Get an accountant. He'll guide you step by step.
That's it. Outsource to resource, isn't it? So I think with a lot of food business operators, we have certain expertise that we bring to our own table. And it's usually the skill set within the kitchen, it's the creativity. And as you just said there, to think about setting up your own business, when you stop and you actually think about the reality behind it, you have to become all things to all people. So you get to work less in the position where you enjoy the most. But if you also take another step back and go, what areas do I not enjoy at all? Where do I need to hire well to ensure that I do maintain? Because there's legal requirements as well, isn't there? So to have that accountant is a legal requirement. To maybe talk to somebody in the legal profession as well, just for expertise and guidance, is another great way to outsource as well. So it's employing the right people, the right minds, and talking to the right people. And I think if you stay clear too much of talking about it with friends and family and employ those expert people, you tend to make moves forward quicker. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, no, 100%, and that's a good starting point. And I suppose leading on from there, it's what do you want to do? Is it a hatch? Is it a hatch in a shopping centre? Minimal fuss, not mobile. Is it a horse box? You know, I have my own opinions on different things now, which I'll go through. Is it a container? Is it a container with wheels? My advice for anybody looking at this, and those that are getting a horse box, and there's so many people that text me asking about, horse box. One thing you should know about a horse box. Okay, they look cute, but cute does not make for a perfect kitchen. You know, it is very, very, very hard. On the first service that we had in here, most horse boxes would do coffee. Now, this is me just going head first. You know, most horse boxes would do coffee and maybe, you know, a small grill, or, you know, whatever it is. Nothing, not really what I'm doing, which is I've a fully kitted kitchen here, but it's small and it's difficult. Whereas if I was doing coffees and hot dishes, just going out, or not hot dishes like pastries, absolutely perfect. But I would recommend anybody, if you're going down the route of hot food, make sure it's feasible, make sure it's enough space. We have 3 people in here, and it's 7 foot. So there's no there's no HR department here. I'm the HR department, because things can get very, you're really, really on top of each other, So Horsebox looks cute, but logistics, it's a nightmare. That's just...
Chad, the best thing then for that, you're talking about the space, the logistics, the ergonomics of the area. Your menu then dictates, doesn't it? So the personality of what it is you want to represent, taking apart the menu, looking at the equipment required to create that menu, and maybe assessing that again. So going back to the drawing board and seeing what it is you can achieve. Because you said at the start, as a result of your decision now, you have employed a prep kitchen. So by having that prep kitchen for you, you were able to bring to us that wonderful menu, because now your truck is working for you because of that prep kitchen behind you.
Yeah, I was very lucky, very, very lucky. Where I am, I'm at a garage, and I'm at the side of a garage. Now, there was a deli in the garage, but there's another super garage gone down the road, which is all bells and whistles, and it's fantastic. And the garage where I am, it petered out. So there was a free kitchen in there, and this was totally random. Totally random, and it was just by the grace of God that he said I could use it if I wanted. Grand, because if I didn't have that kitchen, storage alone is incredible. It's you if you don't have a prep kitchen, and if it's not coffees and scones and stuff like that you're doing, if you're doing real food and honest to God cooked food, and it could be simple, but if it's cooked, you're going to need prep areas, you're going to need an EHO to come in, you will need everything that you need in a professional kitchen, which some people in hindsight, and me included, because mistakes are there to be made, and I hope people take value from it. I was assuming that, I'll get all my prep done here in this little space. I've got a grill, I've got a fryer, if I was doing that, the revenue turnover that I'd make would be a quarter, because I just wouldn't have the space. And nobody's doing this for the crack. You're doing it to make money. So prep kitchen, it's a non-negotiable. You'll be dead in the water if you don't have one. And plus the EH, Christy, it's our EHO fella down here in Clarny. It was very, very good. Really, really good to me. And he did say from the start, I was thinking of going up to a school actually to use their kitchen, but luckily here happened. But he did say from the start, I was showing him my menu and my ideas, and he just said, look, it's not going ahead. You're not going to do it. You can't have raw food. There was a lot of different things. So hot food, prep kitchen, if you're cooking in a small confined space.
And that's brilliant advice, engaging with your EHO from the get-go, because they have immense knowledge and expertise in this area, and they can help steer, guide and direct you, can't they? They're absolutely terrific. To get a great relationship with your EHO is the most rewarding relationship you'll have in your business.
Yeah, you know what? When I took on this project, now I'm sorry for people watching that and talking about a horse box, because I'm only used to a horse box, but take horse box, use it as a container, whatever it is. When this was being fabricated, I showed the EHO the plans of what I wanted. Now it's so small that everything has to be on point. There's no margin for error here. There really isn't. He went through it. Now I'm used to kitchens, and he was happy enough with it. But if you're not in the industry and you're not used to kitchens, and somebody's not actually setting it up for you, or it's not a professional company, it might be a fabricator that that's doing it, that hasn't done kitchens before, imperative get your EHO to go through, which is, if anybody wants to send me a message, you'll find me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or whatever it is. I will happily, I can send anyone that I've plans from my own horse box here, all measurements, all guides. If anybody needs it, all you got to do is text. I'll send it on to you, no problem. Just give me your business, buy a few chips or something.
Yeah. Absolutely, Chad. I love that. And that's so helpful because for so many people it is. It's one of the most daunting things, isn't it? Just to get started. And it's a slow process. You have to go through each step bit by bit. You have to engage with conversations with certain people in order to make strides forwards. And sometimes you feel like you're not moving quick enough. But if you're moving right and in the right direction, you're getting the right answers and you're making the right moves, you will get there eventually. Patience sometimes is a virtue, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of mobile units out there as well, and indeed kitchens. You need to inform your EHO, and how to do that. You get onto the FSAI, Food Safety Authority of Ireland, so you can be registered to sell food. A lot of places aren't doing it at the moment. There's been a bit of backlash in the news that I'm aware of, but all you have to do, follow your HACCP protocols, make sure you have everything in place, call them, say you're setting up a week before. They'll come out, they'll tell you what you need to do to get it properly, because nothing's ever perfect, you know, and it's their job to, if everything was perfect, they'd be all out of a job fairly fast, and that's just the reality of it. So nothing will ever be perfect, but they'll guide you, and then they'll come out and do a spot check within your first week of business, and you're good to go. If you know that you're doing a good job and you're diligent and your HACCP is on point, you're good to go. But don't be afraid of it. I don't know why people are afraid of it.
I agree, Chad. It's one of the most terrifying prospects for people, and unnecessarily so. I once had my own cafe and bakery, and I had an amazing relationship with my EHO, absolutely terrific. And I still, I ran a food truck as well as a couple of summers ago, and had a wonderful relationship with that EHO as well. And their wealth of knowledge is absolutely paramount to run a really successful business. Yeah, I agree with you there fully.
It is, but it's like one of the things which I wouldn't have assumed for, and you know, he collared me on it as well. You know, I have the spice box on. I'm sure people watching the spice box, they get the ego away. It's about making money and being successful. Okay, I pimp up my spice box a hell of a lot. I think it's absolutely super. Biased, of course, but it really is. But one of the things, I was cooking chicken raw to order. And it was a chicken thigh marinated for about 2 days in buttermilk, chipotle, and a little bit of liquid from the jalapenos, which really breaks down the meat. So it's like butter when you're cutting into it, and a load of oregano. That's it. There's no salt and no nothing else. I don't breadcrumb. After that, I take it out of the marinade and just into a little bit of panko. But I cook it at about, sorry, I have one there. I cook it at about 120 until it's cooked, because I can't have, the place is so small here, I can't have raw produce in here. And it's the same as the prawns. You know, my chefy head is like, I can't pre-cook prawns, and you know, you really shouldn't. And I know that. So what I've done is I've poached them as low. I have a backpack inside and a little oh Jesus. Sous vide, well, it's not sous vide. I can't think of the name, but I blanched the prawns to about 55, just to say that they are technically cooked, and then breadcrumb them. But anyway, I'll go through this like that. But it was just to say that I can't have raw produce and cooked produce together. So everything in here is, you know, the chef ego might be going, oh Jesus, I wouldn't be able to function. You know, I would not be allowed to cook. So just bear that in mind. Everything needs to be either cooked or either raw, but not mixed.
And even there, Chad, we're moving on to how to keep it simple with the menu. And it's the least amount of ingredients in a dish. We've spoken about cold dishes versus hot dishes, or we'll go into that while you talk as well. And we want crossover of ingredients, utilizing your space as much as possible. So if we go into the menu, then you're going to talk us through the spice bag that you say is the spice box, which is one of Ireland's uniquely delicious dishes. That's for some people, they're like, what? But for you, and the way you sell it, the way you create it, the way you make it, with that TLC that you bring to that table is phenomenal. So tell us, why did you choose that dish? How does it make your life easier? And how are you able to keep within the format of keeping the menu simple by bringing that dish onto your menu?
Well, I'm lucky. I only have 4 items on the menu. Well, I've tacos, and there's 3 different tacos. The tacos change weekly, but sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Apologies. Why spice box? Okay, everybody loves the spice packs or spice packs. Everybody loves it, but it's not eating that rubbery crap chicken. It's not eating about that there's a mix of. It's how you do it yourself. It's how you execute it. So just the way I do it here, I really sort of, I explained about the chicken,
Yeah.
So it's, everybody knows the spice bag, mixed peppers, a load of them. Will I do one up there, Tracie, or will I wait till after?
Love it. Yeah, let's do it, Chad, and talk us through it. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of chicken. It's the thighs that were marinated. Sorry, I'm really sorry if the camera moves around, okay? So I've got the beauty of having everything cooked, actually, is I can put everything into the fryer together. I'm not waiting on anything to cook more than anything. So I've got my peppers, onions, chicken, prawns, and chips. Literally, I have my pot here. 1 pot is a portion. Sorry, it's just handier.
Well, you're keeping consistency there as well, Chad, isn't it? Because in order for your customers to come back for the same product again, you have to ensure that you can get it right the first time, second time, third time. We want that consistency, don't we, in the menu item?
Yeah, well, it's consistency, which is consistency is number one. Okay, number one. But as a business, you want to make sure that you're hitting your mark. Okay, I know 7 prawns, 2 thighs. Prawns I cut in half, so it's like literally 3.5 prawns. 2 thighs, portion chip. If you do it like that, your costs won't go wrong. If you're not in the business and you can, if I have to go back to the Breton and I've ordered so many thighs, I've ordered so many whatever it is, I know how much I should be making straight away.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? There's no error for judgment. Give or take, you might burn something, somebody might not pay or whatever, and we take that for granted. But I suppose that's your GP, just making sure if you're not on point with your GP, you're dead in the water from the start. So
Chad, if it's not you there making that, the rest of your team are aware of the precise amount: 2 thighs, 7 prawns, how much is in a portion of chips, how many peppers go into that dish. Everyone on your team knows exactly how to recreate this dish the way you create this dish. Would that be correct?
Yeah, inside the prep kitchen, something as basic as literally picture, and I think most people do this anyway. Picture, recipe, ingredients, just that's the way it is. That's the way. SOP. That's the way it is. That's the way it's standard. No messing about. If somebody new comes in, that's the way it is. Bear in mind there'll be mistakes made, and that's fine. But at least you can pinpoint it, and you can say that's the picture. That's the way it is. There's no messing about, So I suppose even if I'm not going to be here, it's my name. Well, the Hungry Donkey's name over it. So, and I'd like to think that I have a good reputation for food and what I stand for. So, it's important. SOPs, guys. Most people will have them. But
standard operating procedures. You say that, Chad, but I think even that's a little unfair. Most people don't have them. Most people are afraid because they don't have the time to sit down to create them. So I love the fact that we've just gone through the importance of that in any kitchen. In order to replicate a dish, it must be standardized. In order for it to be standardized, it must be tested. It must be trials and errors. And then, as you said, pictured, written down precisely, and then trained. So if somebody new comes onto the team, it isn't a case of I want you to make this. You're actually giving them all the information so that they can make it to your standard and to the specification required. So it's a great teaching tool as well, isn't it? Not only for your end of day sales, knowing exactly how many portions you went through, how many portions you have left, even for the case of waste, to be able to waste monitor as well is really important, isn't it?
Oh, 100%, but it just keeps everything. It's standard, it's cost, it's
vital.
It's absolutely vital. I should have, sorry lads, underprepared. I should have a metal bowl to mix this around. I don't, and that's fine. But I'm just gonna put it in here. Sorry.
Chad, while you're doing that, will you talk us through the different VAT rates? So your menu, do you want all hot dishes on your menu? Do you want all cold dishes on your menu? How do you balance that and why?
Okay, so VAT rate for takeaway food, 9%. Okay, for sweet treats, sweet drinks, 23%. And that can be from your sugary brownie, it can be your sugary drinks. So it's 5 grams. To get away from that sugar tax, if you're doing, say, a hibiscus tea, lemonade, whatever, it's 5. If you want to bring that down to 9%, don't put more than 5 grams of sugar into 100 milliliters of water. That's where the tax comes from. And it's like that with brownies or muffins or whatever. If you wanted to use a different kind of sugar, if you wanted the FS, if you want to revenue, it will go through exactly. If you go into revenue.ie, this sounds so basic, but people miss out. I think chefs missed the boat in this one for years, and I certainly did, and I know a lot of others did.
Yeah.
If you go onto the revenue.ie and you can see the tax bracket of what a sugar tax is, you will be absolutely shocked how you can bring from 23% down to 9% by just reducing sugars, reducing creams. Like people think, oh, vegan food businesses, why are they getting so into it? There's 2 reasons. One, it's animal welfare. Well, for me, I'm a big advocate of vegan food. No, I'd be a huge supporter of, although I'm selling chicken here, but personally, I'd be a huge advocate of vegan food. But a lot of businesses are going down that direction. Why? Because it'll save you a lot of tax. Okay, and plus, if you're serving one vegan, you're serving a family. You know that's there's. And then again, there's cold food, which a lot of people can see meal kits doing the rounds, and a lot of chefs are solely focusing on meal kits. Why are they so focusing on meal kits? There's 0 tax. Cold food that's takeaway. Just listen to that again. There's zero tax. My accountant didn't know that a few years ago, about a year ago. Didn't know it. It was the chef that told me. My mind was blown when I heard it. So if I'm in here and I have a special on, last week we had crab from Castletown Bear. Now originally I posted up saying it was baked crab, and I changed my mind because I didn't want to go now hot. So I did a dressed crab salad instead. Now that's a premium product, okay? So it's cost about €8 with packaging, crab, the dressing, everything involved is about €8, okay? So I'm selling that for 24 quid.
Yeah.
If I'm selling it for 20, we'll say 25 just to make it easy. So if I'm selling that at 25 quid, 9% of that's 250. That's 250 coming straight off the top of my margin, okay? Why would I do it? Make it cold, dress it up, and I always, if I have specials, I always tend to make them cold and make them premium produce, because there's more markup, and 2, the tax you get to keep for yourself. So if you want to, I just think it makes business sense. I just mean it's really savvy. Like, say if you had what am I doing? What am I looking around here? A brioche bun, for instance, and I stuffing it with crab, and I have chips here. I want to put chips with it. I wouldn't do it. I'd get a packet of Doritos and put, not Doritos, but tortilla chips, just say. I'll put some avocado on it, make it really, really sexy, but send it out cold.
Yeah.
Boom, you're saving your money, and people really need to get onto their accountants, because I'm not sure everybody knows that. So I think if anybody takes anything from this, look at the sugar taxes. Look at cold food tax for takeaways. That's not cold food in a restaurant, by the way. That's cold food for takeaway only. 0% tax. Just bear that in mind. That could be thousands at the end of the year. No, it would be thousands at the end of the year. You know?
Yeah, unbelievable advice, Chad. And I think you're so right. It's something that we don't necessarily talk about so openly. We forget. And there's the other side of it. When you are in business, you're generally in the thick of it. So you don't have time to lift your head. So for us to have this opportunity today to talk to you directly while you are in the Hungry Donkey, and for you to be able to give us all of these insights that are so relevant, because food trucks in Ireland now, that lifestyle, that way of eating, that casual dining can also be high-end casual dining, but can be very strategic casual dining, because business is money. It can be everything else you want it to be, but if we forget that business is money, well then we're losing out massively. Yeah,
nobody's doing it for the crack. I'd love to be, but come here. Look at this now. You'll be very proud of me. You'll be very proud of me.
What are you doing?
That's a Ballymaloe fiery relish, but I blitz it down. I love it. I love it. I just blitz it down, and I use that in my spice box, and then a little bit of mayo. Oh, well, a little bit of lined up mayo, or you can use sour cream. And just to finish the dish off, okay, this is a weird one, and I'm sure some chefs that are watching will say, what? But trust me, it absolutely works. So I've got a little bit of pomegranate, okay? But I'm talking about the real pomegranate. That's red, that's bursting with flavor, okay? And I got a little sort of pico de gallo mix, which is red onion, coriander, all raw, spring onion, and a little bit of lime zest and some chopped chili. So it's the prawns, chicken marinated. I don't know if you can see. Where you probably can't see.
Lovely.
Probably can't. Sorry, hang on. I'll try open this here like that.
You can take a picture for us later before you eat it. Demolish it on us.
I've got you know what? Sorry. But I've got the donkey tech team here with me, Ross. So he's setting up my computer earlier, so that's his lunch there. Nice one, Ross.
Well, Chad, even back to what you just did there. So if we think about casual dining, minimum touches, crossover of ingredients, and even that layer system that you bring in, because even menu design, there's so much more to menu design and menu engineering, isn't it? And for you to bring us through the reasons you put all of those extra toppings on, it's for flavor and it's for texture. So luckily, you love Ballymaloe Foods as much as I do. So you have the Ballymaloe Fiery Relish. Amazing. It just brings life to any dish, doesn't it? It's absolutely phenomenal. And then you brought in a bit of citrus into your Ballymaloe mayo, and you have it in your squeezy bottles ready to go. So you're doing probably squeeze 1, 2, 3. You have a count system on. Your nozzles are a certain thickness as well. And even for your pinch, I'm sure the rest of the guys use spoons, you know, that specific quantity that goes on top of every dish. But it's that mindful approach, isn't it? You're thinking about the guest, how they get through the dish, every mouthful, and the reason behind every addition.
It is. Now, you know, spice box, I put that on the menu at $12.50, but I think it's a fair price for what it is. It's tiger prawns, it's chicken thighs, it's done properly, it's cooked properly.
Yeah.
But what I do to pump it up, and you'd be surprised. I think your punters have to have trust in you. So if you have trust, fantastic, go straight away. So go with it. I do it. I sell out of them every day.
Yeah.
In the spice box, I put on 2 additions. Add on scallops, bring it up to 20 quid. Okay. So 3 scallops just on the grill, 2 minutes, all dressed with the nice scallops on top, primed for Instagram. And a lot of the food that I do here, and you know, to make a business work and to make people come back and people, you know, I do hardly any marketing for here. It's all on Instagram stories from punters coming in. It really is. Like there's 16, 17 stories a day. And it's because the food is Instagrammable. It sells the food itself. If people, you know, you're not paying people to do anything. They're taking pictures, they're putting it up. They have a nice logoed bag that says the Hungry Donkey. Everybody that's taking a picture pictures the logo of the Hungry Donkey bag, which is just brilliant advertising. But again, make your food Instagrammable. I know some chefs listen to this going, oh Jesus, it's all about the flavor. It is about flavor, but make it look sexy. It'll sell itself.
Yeah, we eat with our eyes, Chad, and that's it. It's a very valid point. If it doesn't look good, why would we bother? And it really is as simple as that.
And you know what? That's the world we're at now. You know, and you know, if you don't think so, you're living in the Stone Age, and it mightn't be what you want to hear. But if it's not Instagrammable, you're not getting the youth in. You're not getting people tuned to say, I want this, I want that. You know, make it Instagrammable. It's a simple thing like I have a hot dog, the kielbasa sausage. It's Polish style sausage. But what I do, sorry, I was peeling aubergines. I was doing prep earlier. It's really hard to get the skin out your nails. So, sorry. But what I do is I'd score, if you can see, I'd score the sausage. Can you see?
Lovely.
So just when it's on the bun, so I'd have my sauerkraut here, a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of mustard, actually, will I do it? No, Ross, can you see if you can, I don't have enough, underprepared. I don't have enough sour cream. But I'll do enough, and I'll just show you how Instagrammable that looks. And it is, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't 3 or 4 pictures of it up. a day. And you know, people might say 3 or 4 pieces, that's a lot. It started a lot, and I want to maintain that. And by maintaining it is bloody making sure that consistency is right. And you know, it might be a sausage and you're scoring it, and it might be an extra hour not, because if you're going through a lot, it could be an extra hour in your day. But I consider that marketing as well, you know, as opposed to a big sausage in a bun, and it looks fine, but it doesn't look like, holy shit, look at that. You know, sorry for swearing if anybody's out there, but you know, mini kitchen, leave me alone.
If only we had the automatic beep, we'd get away with it. But I love that, Chad. You brought in a couple of different layers there that are really important. Not only are you a chef, not only are you creating a menu from scratch, not only are you standardizing your menu by creating your operating procedures to go with it, not only are you creating Instagrammable food that tastes amazing and look amazing, you're also doing marketing. You're also running your own social media campaign. So the areas and elements that create your business, and you're 2 weeks in business and doing phenomenally well because you bring with you your own background and wealth of experience and knowledge. But the level of input that's required, it's from the get-go, Chad, isn't it? It's to maintain that interest and that energy on all areas.
It is, but do you know what, Tracy? There's a honeymoon period for every business, and I'm not naive enough to think that this will go on forever. But if it started that good, it means I have to push extra hard to maintain that. You know, when the hotels open back up on the 11th or the 2nd or whatever date it is, you know, I'll stop listening to the news, to be very honest with you. The GM will text me saying when I'm back. That's when I'm back. When the hotels, for people that are going into mobile care, nobody knows. Okay, I think casual food is here to stay, but nobody knows. Is there going to be too much? Is there going to be an abundance of them that they look like? You know, I just need to make sure what we're doing is as good as it was from day one. Yeah, exactly. Actually, day one was I closed the kitchen early because I was missing meat hooks and whatnot, and that's a learning. But I'm glad it was my own business to say, you know what, lads, it's not happening. We need to restructure this. Not the kitchen, but just the setup. You know, do you ever cook? And I'm sure everybody that cooks is aware of this. Sometimes you just don't feel it, and it's best to just say, you know what, close early, blank it off, start again, regroup. You know, it was just space issues, you know.
Absolutely. And it's pulling backwards, Chad, isn't it, before you get too deep and realizing you need the equipment. The equipment has to work with you. Sometimes your equipment can be an extra member of your team, and it can make your life so much easier. So to be able to say that and do that, it's huge. Yeah,
no, it is, but again, it's consistency as well. And I'd prefer to say it's done properly and I can go home being proud. Otherwise, I'll have a sleepless night going, what the hell just happened? You know?
Yes.
1 second. So just on this, Tracy, this is what I do with the hot dog. And I just think it looks so bloody sexy.
I can't see what you're doing. It's so gorgeous.
I should be going the opposite way, I think. I'm really sorry. If you can see that.
The colours are phenomenal.
It pops. It really pops. So just a brioche bun. I haven't put it in this one here now because I can't see it there. A little bit of sauerkraut, a little bit of the Ballymaloe stuff. Then on top, I got a bit of, here's an order coming in. Jesus. So on top, I got some sour cream, some mustard, and I got some pickled red onions. The pickled red onions are the same. You know, I try to use as much possible as I can where I'm not multiplying ingredients. Pickled red onions here is just red onions sliced really finely, salted for 2 minutes, blanched in really ice cold water, taken out, lime juice over it, and you get that beautiful color. And that acrid taste, once you blanch it in the cold water, it's gone. So it's really fresh. And a little bit of the pica mix as well. Now the limes, that's what I use for the tacos. So it's reusing what I have just to make it tasty. You know, but each dish has a different look. Even though I use this in the tacos, you don't see that on the top. Yeah, I've another little, I call them Instagrammable things. It adds, right, what I do have is thought and it adds flavor.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it. Those sprinkly things, I know chefs will go, what are you talking about? It's Instagrammable. And if you can grab that youth Instagram market, you're going to make it. And just believe me. Like I'm open 2 weeks. with okay, it's not bloody viral or anything like that, but there's 3,000 followers on the Hungry Donkey page in 2.5 weeks. So I think that's pretty good, you know.
Hell yeah. So Chad, you're saying relevant and edible garnishes can really make a dish.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, edible is number one. Taste is number one.
Yeah.
But when you have taste, try make it like if I was just putting red onion on that, you know, it's not going to pop. Just try make something pop. You know, there's another dish that I have on, which is the tacos. Tacos are different every week, and what I found in a horse box, I had a chicken taco and a pork taco and a vegan taco. It was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So I sort of cheated. I said, right, I'll only do pork, and just to make the menu look bigger, I said I'll do a pork. Vegans and vegetarians don't kill me here now. I said I'll do a pork one because it's the most popular. I'll do a vegetarian, which would be a cheese-based one, or I could use sour cream in it or something like that. And I'll do a vegan one. Known deep down that the vegan one will be 1 in every 10. Vegetarian one will be probably 1 in every 10 as well. So I can concentrate on literally. I was going to say horsing out. Shouldn't be saying that. But I can concentrate on getting the pork out because it's pork.
Yeah.
But when I'm in such a confined space and it's chicken and pork and the garnishes are different, you're sort of dead in the water. You know, I can only do 3 tacos at a time. So if somebody says, "Oh, 2 pork, 1 chicken," or 2 chicken, 2 pork, I was waiting. You know, I was waiting to finish 3 and then start 1. So if I could just say, right, it's all pork, boom, it's so much faster. And the menu looks good because it's meat, and I stand by the conviction of saying meat, vegetarian, vegan, 3 choices. I know I won't be busy with the other 2, and that's, you know, it's still 3 choices, and it's feasible.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, Chad? Even I obviously work with Ballymaloe Foods as their development chef, and I get to go up and down the country. Prior to COVID, we were out on the road a good bit, and even talking to different businesses and heads of businesses, they would all say the chicken dish. We want the chicken dish. It has to be the chicken dish. So you're saying pork for your taco, and I think on a menu, if you don't have pork, you have to have chicken, or else it's chicken first. Chicken is such a big thing in Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah, spice bag. That's my chicken, and I had the chicken on. But what I found was, even if you're using chicken thigh, you have to be realistic. Okay, I can't be. If you have your chicken meat on what I actually, do I have a tin here? What I actually use, because the space is so small, I don't use 9 containers, or I use tins. I use tins for spoons. I use tins for absolutely everything. I use tins to heat up the pork. We get tins of tomatillos. Can't get fresh tomatillos over here. I'm sure somebody will say you can. I can't down here. But they're the tins that are the 2.5 kg tins. That's exactly what I use there, because they don't take up any space. Instead of using the 9 containers, I use like just small tins of the pulpo tomatoes, and that's what I use for my spoons up there. So it's everything to minimize space. But again, sorry, the pork can hold. You know, there's so much layered fat going through the pork. It can hold on a grill, you know, in one of the large tins. This is how people, if you want to have a bambury over there, whatever, I don't have the space. But sorry, thanks, Ross. So yeah, literally a tin. That's what I put my pork in. And I'd leave it on the side, and I just have room for 3 tacos. But if I was using another container, I wouldn't. But that's just, that, you have to work to your own abilities. I'm sure there's different kitchens that are feasible, like if I was back in the hotel kitchen or whatever, absolutely. But you got to make your own space work for you, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, love it, Chad. 100%. So even being able to get in there for the first couple of days, wherever your space may be, you know, if people are looking to open up a takeaway, get into that space, trial and error it, isn't it? Understand what exactly will work with you and not against you, and highlight what will work against you, and relook at it. As you said, Chad, taking that step back, taking those extra couple of hours to kind of go, okay, what do I need to do? How can I improve on this? And it's always kind of taking it on the chin. You know, if it doesn't go well, take it on the chin and go, how can I make it better?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like basic things. I got all the big stuff, but then I was missing meat hooks to hold stuff up. A load of meat hooks here, 2 knife racks. You know, I just found that everything was just uncoordinated, and you know, I thought I was set up. So you know what? do a dummy run for friends and family. You know, I thought I'd be okay because I know this industry. You know what? It would have been okay. I'm not sure the outside people would have said anything different, but I felt it inside that this isn't 100%. I can do better. Close it down. Sorry, back open tomorrow. No, that happened. That happened. Take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah, and it's real, isn't it? And for a lot of people, we don't find it as easy to talk about that. So even for you to be able to bring that up and say this is the reality, and the reality sometimes it's not so pleasant, but by Jesus, you know, taking it on board and learning from it, yeah, you move forward quicker.
Yeah. I was just so nobody knows. I was supposed to say this at the start, and I just want to tell anyone this isn't a paid promotion to talk about the insurance, okay? But I just want to mention, if anybody's doing mobile insurance, there's a company, one second, the fire's getting too hot, burning the backside off myself.
We have 2 minutes actually, Chad, 2 minutes left before we have our lowdown. But if you talk quickly about insurance and maybe permits, we didn't even bring that up. Yeah.
Okay, so insurance, there was a fella that actually fabricated horse boxes who got onto it, said he was too busy. Good friend of his, he Mast Insurance, M-A-S-T, and this isn't paid for, this is just on the level.
Yeah.
They're the cheapest. They have every permit you can think of for mobile catering, for absolutely every M-A-S-T. I was set up in 2 minutes. There was no questions, and it was, to get this insured, public liability, etc. It cost me, Jesus, what was it, $329. If I didn't go to them, the next nearest one was up to $500, $600, $700. You know, they were in. Amazing. You know, so Mast Insurance, just they're the best. You know.
So that's insurance and permits, Chad.
In insurance and public liability. Well, permits. I've seen there's a few things in Dublin they're going at the moment with different boroughs and different councils, but I can only tell you my experience down in Kerry. Okay, so you have public, which you need to go to the council. You know, usually it's a marketing license. Marketing license costs about 120 quid for the week, thereabouts. Usually they stay from 9 until 5, and then you have to jump ship somewhere else. Well, maybe you can go home if you're busy, but if you're serving hot food, it's usually lunchtime, so it can be a bit expensive if you're going down that route. Beast bylaws, which is usually an afternoon, 2 to 5, separate permits for that, which are actually very easy to get. All this stuff is easy to get if you go looking for them. Now I'm on private property here, and I've been to councils because I've seen some stuff from Gallia. I can't pronounce the name. Sorry, I don't speak French, but I know they had issues in Dublin. But I've been on to my own people down here, the council down here, and for me, the local council, for me, they said it's fine if I have a registered business, if I'm FSAI certified, and I'm on, you know, I've got mains there, and you know, I'm not paying the rates, but I'm paying towards the rent. I'm okay to go. But different boroughs are different, and if you take anything before you start, make sure you go to your council, because I heard a horror story in Dublin, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, especially it's tough out there, you know. So just get onto your council first.
Assume nothing, Chad, isn't that it? Assume nothing, go to your council first. If it's going to be a mobile unit or a container unit, straight to your council, find out about the permits allowed, take it from there, talk to your EHO, a quick rundown, make sure your equipment works to your advantage, make sure your menu engineering works to your advantage, try and consider local ingredients, try and consider crossover of ingredients, price your menu, have your standard operating procedures, be brilliant at market research, be fantastic at social media, up your game with your photography and your messaging, and you'll have a great business.
You just did the webinar in 20 seconds. Jesus Christ, and there I was waffling on. Fair play.
I'm conscious. I want to hand back over to Louise, because I know, and I forgot to mention multiple times, and I promised her I would, all questions, keep them coming for us to answer at the end. So I know Louise has a wealth of questions that she wants to hit us both with. So Louise, if I hand back to you, and we see what we've missed.
Great. Thanks, guys, for really, really interesting points there. Yeah, we have a few questions in, all right. The first one here, if you cook bacon, but it is sold as a cold meat sandwich, is it tax-free?
If it's takeaway, it's tax-free.
Yeah.
If it's takeaway,
Right.
it's tax-free.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much. Next one here. So someone's saying great ideas and enthusiasm. How do you judge how much to prep to reduce waste, etc.?
Oh, brilliant question.
You don't. You like I can tell you now, my first weekend here, it was, you know what, it was brilliant because we were busy. But because we're so small, it's such a small kitchen, I was like, oh, 10 kg will be enough and 10 kg will be enough. And you know, it's not something that you can know. It's only after you've been in your business a while. Like now I can say to myself, right, get through the week, 110 kg of pork necks. That's what I need, because I'm able to see. You can't just turn around and say, it'll be enough. You know, what's your football like? What's your market research like before you start? You can't know. Like, if you can freeze stuff, brilliant.
Err on the side of caution and sell out with confidence starting off, and highlight that you're selling out with confidence, because you can create a frenzy. And then you log every day, you log your sales, so you know exactly, you know, how many portions of something you sell. You can then start to reflect on that, so you can create grids and systems where, you know, on a Tuesday, you know, you sell this amount, on a Thursday, vice versa, Saturdays, Sundays. You start to get a feel for what's happening. Would that be right, Chad?
Yeah, absolutely. You would, but I would say to sell out is great, and I know that there's fish restaurants that sell out, and I totally get that. But I do believe if you're selling out, okay, it gains a little bit of momentum. But remember, you're a business. If you have opportunity to sell food, bloody sell it, because you're losing money if you sell out, and it will just take a week or two to adjust to see what you need. But try not to sell out. Try get them punters in. Sell. You know, when I see restaurants or some mobile units always sold out, it beggars belief. You know, it actually beggars belief.
Closely enough. They need to monitor more closely.
You might be breaking even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You might be. Friday, Saturday, Sundays, your money making days. Do not sell out. If you sell out, you're doing something really wrong. Sorry, I'm serious on that one.
Yes, love it. No, makes perfect sense. Monitor everything that's going on. Yeah, know what your business needs from the get-go, from the start, for the first week. Sell out with confidence, and then know that week 2 you need to look at it differently.
And then you're back on.
You're looking at it, you're reflecting. Yeah.
I think you've summed it up perfectly there, Tracie.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, guys. Next question. Can you ask Chad about takeaway packaging, please? The best company for good prices.
Best company for good prices. Now, I'm not here promoting any companies, but I went through a few different packages, okay? And you gotta realize there's a lot of bullshit out there, okay, with packaging. There really is. Like, I'm using these craft containers at the moment. One, because it fits in with the ethos. Originally, I wanted to go with vegware, but they're out of my price bracket. Like, I'm selling a lot of things at a budget, and then a few things that are a bit more expensive. But my price bracket, like, packaging is basically 10%. Okay, like the word biodegradable in Ireland, it's pointless. It's a marketing scam, and I'm sorry if you can disagree or whatever. But when 99%, I'm not going to say all, because I'm open for error. But when most of the incinerator plants, your dump or whatever, won't incinerate them properly, they're going to landfill, or they're going up in smoke. They're not biodegradable in this country. It might be biodegradable in the UK, but not here. So just err on the side of caution on what you're buying. Like, vegware is the best, but they were too expensive for me. If I see something that's over 10%, and packaging is so expensive, because if it's over 10%, of what you're selling, and then your rent is 10%. All this stuff adds up. So get good quality, but don't be foolish either. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Watch your margins on that.
Yeah. No, dude. Like I'm getting the craft containers. I think like one. What's JJ Mooney in Limerick? Okay. They do the packaging. They get it all shipped in from wherever it is. They get it shipped in, and it's probably the best price. Other than that, you can go to Musgraves, Buttons on McLaughlin, Nisbets. They all do it. But JJ Mooney's and actually Alliance Packaging in Cork do it as well. And very, very, their price points are very, very. Sorry, nearly afraid to cough here. Just rub it on. Don't have the COVID or anything. But yeah, no, that's who I'd go to. Alliance or JJ Mooney, and buy direct from them. And again, if you buy in bulk, you're best off. Vegware as well in Cork are unbelievable. They were just out of my budget, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And fit for purpose, Chad, isn't it? A bit of trial and error on that. Put the dishes in it, leave them in it for 10 minutes, come back and have a look at them. Don't assume that what you order will work to your advantage or to your menu item. You have to trial and error. You need to know what the customer is facing when they open up that packaging.
Tracie, I left probably the most vital information out. That you just said there. Leave the food for 10 minutes. Yeah. Leave it for 10 minutes. I've made that mistake before with the, I actually find another container, the white ones, the baguette, very, very good. Biodegradable, nonsensical. But the compostable ones are quite good. But if it's compostable, leave a wet dish in there for 10 minutes, come back to it, and you might be a little, just to err on the side of caution. Samples are free. Asking people to send you out samples are free.
And I've tried and errored a few of the compostable ones, and they're incredibly good. But I hear what you're saying, Chad. If your systems aren't in place for you to actually be able to bin them appropriately and accordingly, it is a very unfortunate scenario, isn't it? So you need to kind of look a bit broader than that if you do want to bring that in. Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
Great, thank you guys. Next question, approximately how much can you set up a food truck for?
Chad.
It really depends on what you want to do. Okay, the donkey. Sorry, just call it donkey now. Inside the equipment alone in here costs about 10 grand. All told to get this fabricated and done properly. There's insulation on the floor. It's not wooden. It's aluminium plankton. It's done to a very, very, very high standard. It was about 29 grand. Okay, but again, I hear people doing them for 6 or 7 grand, and I say more power to them. But I just know that if I do something, I want it to last me a lifetime. I want to be proud of it. But if it's just all wooden, make sure. I'm lucky that this is aluminium going around, and it's solid as a rock. If I'm traveling, it's going to hold. Where if it's wooden, just think of it. Just think of a truck going, and if it's wooden lats going in, they're going to fall off. It's.
Yeah.
You know what? You'd be looking to do it properly. If it's hot food, you could get it done for 25 grand, 24 grand, 25 grand, in and around that. If you were just serving coffees, scones, stuff like that, you'd be talking about maybe to get it fabricated and up and running, maybe 13 grand thereabouts. Yeah. But remember as well, on top of that, sorry Tracie, and this is imperative, and I'm sorry, I've missed out on saying a lot of things. I'd notes there, and you know how things go. If you are cooking hot food, okay, you can only cook hot food if you have gas, okay? If you think you have a generator and your generator is going to really help you, you're in another planet. A generator that costs you 3 or 4 grand will only boil a kettle for you and turn on your lights. So you got to get gas. If you don't have gas, you're lost in the water. And also connection, like I'm very lucky here at the garage. I have a connection to the garage, which is grand, but it's a 16 amp, which isn't a 3-phase. But I have a converter, so if you're getting something, there's a lot of static in the background there. If you're getting your box or trailer or whatever it may be converted, get a converter to go 16 amp or 3-phase. Because if you go 3-phase and you're electric, which don't do electricity, but you could do. But at least 3-phase, you'd be able to charge a fryer up or stuff like that. But if you're thinking you can be mobile and a generator will do you justice, hot food, you're gone. You'd be grand for coffees.
Yeah, brilliant tips and advice. And even Chad, if we go further down the line, so you get your truck up and running, you decide what way you're going to go with food, with coffee, with ambient, whatever it may be. You also need to have minimum of 6 months running costs in your bank as well, isn't it? So you need to be able to ensure that you can cover all running costs, ingredients, staffing, insurance, whatever your overheads are on top of that.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not. I don't have the money to. I wish I wish I had that blanket. But literally, first weekend here, I needed to make money. I needed to pay people. I have zero interest. I'm not a big company. I have zero interest in paying people at the end of the month. Ingredients come in, boom, I'm paying. I want to make sure that Saturday, Sunday, I'm looking at that going, right, taxman's taking 45% or 48% off me, but the rest, I'll have it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It depends on the business. This business is so small, money man managed. You can just see it. You can just feel freer. You know, it again depends on the business setup.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys. I know we're up against time now. We're just at 12 o'clock. We just have one more 2 questions, so we'll keep going if it suits you guys. And I understand then if anybody needs to log off, that's fine too. Probably related to the last question, would you prefer a container or a food truck when starting off? What is the best option?
Location. Chad, would that be a big decision maker for that?
Yeah, you know, there's I can send people the links of it. I need to look for it again. There's a thing called Security Container, and it's the best of both worlds. Town councils have started to use them. They're containers. Okay, if you can visualize a container, what a shipping container looks like, but it's actually on wheels. The best of both worlds. Might cost you a pretty penny, but that's the best of both worlds. But it really is. It depends what you want to do. If I was going to festivals and I wasn't in a static position, I got a food truck all day long. Yeah. But I'm lucky that I have a static position, so I don't need to move anywhere. So I'd go container or horsebox container, whatever it is. But the best of both worlds is a security container. One, it's rectangular, so you can fit, there's no awkward little ways in it that you can, how do I put this in? It's so simple to fit out. They're called security containers. You just Google them. Google your local councils. Jesus, should be getting money off the local bloody security car company there for saying that.
So definitely location, market research, menu, all of these are huge deciding factors with that decision as well.
Yeah, if you're mobile, go van. It's simple. Otherwise, if you have a trailer, you're going to have to get a 4-wheel drive. That 4-wheel drive will have to be fitted with an extra fridge, you know? So there's a lot of extra costs, okay? But if you're static and you have a prep kitchen, go container all day long.
And Chad, another brilliant thing, talk to people who are currently doing it. Don't go at this alone. Always talk to people who are in the industry that have trialed it, tested it, or are currently using it. Get that feedback and that advice from people just like you. That's why today's conversation is so relevant and so important, because you're living, breathing exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Tracie, I think people are more than willing to help. You know, anybody that asks me anything, like, I can nearly copy and paste answers now that I get so many of them, you know, and it's usually about permits and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm more than happy to help anybody. You know, people need to make a course. We've had a tough bloody year, and, you know, it's pretty crap, to be honest, for a lot of us. So if I can help anybody out there to make a course, and, you know, if you, I'll do a little personal promo there, but if you follow the Hungry Donkey, the _Hungry Donkey, send me a message. If I know the answer, I'll tell you 100%. It'll be probably a voice note though, because I prepared them than the text, because my spelling's not the best. However.
Your voice notes are brilliant. I enjoy them.
That's fantastic, guys. Thank you to both of you, Chad and Tracie, for a fascinating session with some really, really great insights into the practical side of establishing a successful takeaway offering. Thanks also to Ballymaloe Foods for sponsoring the event this morning. Much appreciated. Thanks to all of our attendees for your time this morning. We hope you found the discussions useful. Our next event will take place on the 13th of May and will be the first session in the Chef Network COVID Recovery Programme. We'll be looking at learnings that we can take from our Northern Ireland and UK colleagues as they manage their reopening phase. Registration for this session is now open at chefnetwork.ie/events. Thanks everybody for your time and have a great week.
Can I just say something to finish off?
Sure, Chad, go ahead.
Sorry lads, because I wouldn't mind doing this gig again. If you go on the social media and say only if it was worthwhile, give it a like and tag for myself and Tracie, because you know what, if I didn't say that, I wouldn't be backing myself up and doing justice. And this industry and what we're doing is about making money. So you might think that's cheeky, but it's not, because you know I got bills to pay. and it's been absolutely great working with you, Tracie, and Louise and Rebecca and Chef Network and Ballymaloe. So I just want to say thanks very much, and thanks for all the tech calls and understanding. So much appreciated, guys.
No, it's been great. And Chad, right back at you. Really enjoyed today and loved even the lead up to all of this. And amazing to work with Chef Network. What an amazing network that we have here in Ireland. Unbelievable people. Louise, Rebecca, thank you so much. Ruth Hegarty, awesome woman. Ballymaloe Foods, all my friends. Love them dearly. And looking forward to getting back out on the road, Chad, and coming down to sample all of your fabulous bits and pieces.
Good stuff. I'll take anyone's money.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining in. Bye guys.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Thanks everybody.